Ever get those perfectly timed texts from businesses, appointment reminders, delivery updates, even marketing offers that seem eerily spot on?
Yeah.
I bet you haven't given much thought to the wizardry happening behind the scenes.
Right.
Today's deep dive cracks open the world of Root Mobile, a global tech company that's quietly powering much of this mobile messaging magic. We're digging into their latest investor presentation covering the first half of the 2024-2025 fiscal year. Get ready for a peek behind the curtain of how businesses are using tech to connect with you right in the palm of your hand.
You're about to discover that investor presentations aren't just dry numbers and financial jargon.
Okay.
They're pressure maps to understanding how businesses are shaping our future.
Hmm.
In this case, Root Mobile is at the heart of CPaaS, or Communications Platform as a Service. Imagine the plumbing of mobile communication for businesses.
Mhm.
That's CPaaS, and Root Mobile is one of the companies making it all flow seamlessly.
Okay, you've officially hooked me. So, instead of getting lost in a sea of financial statements, break it down for me. What are the biggest aha moments from this presentation?
What's fascinating about Root Mobile is that they're not just connecting businesses to consumers, they're connecting them on a global scale. We're talking a network that links them directly to over 280 mobile network operators and indirectly to over 900 more through their super network.
Wow.
That's a level of reach that's almost impossible to replicate, giving them a serious competitive advantage.
So, while other companies might specialize in certain regions, Reap Mobile is like the ultimate global connector.
Exactly. And they've got the infrastructure to support it. We're talking a presence in over 20 locations, a global workforce of over 800 people, and a whopping 19 data centers strategically placed around the world. They're not just dabbling in global communication, they're deeply embedded in it.
Okay, so they've got the connections, but how's the bottom line looking?
Their financials tell a story of serious growth. Revenue for the first half of the fiscal year topped $4 billion, and their adjusted EBITDA, essentially a measure of profitability that factors in operating costs, exceeded $2.7 billion. Both of those figures were up by about 12% compared to the same period last year.
So they're not just surviving, they're thriving. And I'm guessing this growth isn't just from one type of business.
You're spot on. Their customer base is incredibly diverse. We're talking e-commerce giants, those app-based businesses that live and breathe on our smartphones. They call those digital natives. And even financial institutions handling sensitive transactions.
Hold on, back up a sec. Digital native, can you give me a few more examples? I get the gist, but I want to make sure I'm picturing it right.
Think about companies like Uber, Netflix, or even that food delivery app you can't live without.
Right.
These businesses were born in the internet age, and their entire model revolves around mobile-first interactions. They live or die by their ability to connect seamlessly with customers through their smartphones.
Ah, now that makes total sense. So Root Mobile is basically the invisible force making sure those apps can actually reach us no matter where we are in the world.
Precisely. And speaking of connections, they've recently joined forces with the Proximus Group, a major European telecommunications company. This merger isn't just a business deal, it's a strategic alliance that's already yielding benefits, like cross-selling opportunities and cost savings. They're even leveraging Proximus's strategic alliance with Infosys, a global IT giant, to amplify their reach and impact.
Wow, talk about a power play. It sounds like they're building a global communication empire. But with all these connections, I can't help but wonder about the sheer volume of messages they're handling. Are we talking millions, billions?
Hold on to your hat, because we're talking billions with a B. In just the first 6 months of this fiscal year, they processed a mind-boggling 78 billion billable transactions. To put that in perspective, imagine every one-time password for online banking, every notification for a ride-hailing service, every marketing offer that pops up on your phone. Many of those messages are likely flowing through Root Mobile systems.
Wow, 78 billion. That's a level of scale that's hard to even fathom. It makes you realize how much we rely on this technology without even realizing it.
It's the invisible backbone of our increasingly digital world. And Root Mobile isn't just keeping the lights on, they're constantly innovating and evolving their services to stay ahead of the curve. For example, they've been integrating artificial intelligence, or AI, into their platform to create even more seamless and personalized communication experiences.
AI, now that's where it gets really interesting. What exactly are they doing with AI?
They've been strategic about it, focusing on areas where AI can make a real difference for their clients. One example is their chatbot technology, called Rubot. They've integrated AI capabilities, including natural language processing, and machine learning to make these bots as human-like and helpful as possible. In fact, they've even implemented their first AI-powered chatbot on WhatsApp for a leading education technology company in India.
Wait, an AI chatbot on WhatsApp? I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Imagine you're a prospective student wanting to learn more about courses offered by this ed tech platform. Instead of navigating a clunky website or waiting on hold forever, you simply send a message to their WhatsApp number.
Okay, so far so good. I do that all the time with businesses.
The difference here is that you're instantly connected with this AI-powered robot. It can answer your questions about courses, help you figure out which ones might be a good fit, and even gather your contact information so a human representative can follow up later. It's like having a 24/7 virtual assistant right in your pocket.
Wow, that's incredibly efficient. It makes those old school customer service hotlines seem ancient. But I'm curious about something.
Go ahead.
This all sounds incredibly impressive, but I'm wondering if there's anything in the investor presentation that hints at the challenges they might be facing or any potential bumps in the road ahead.
That's a great question. It's important to remember that even the most successful companies face challenges. And the CPS market is becoming increasingly competitive. New players are emerging all the time, and existing players are constantly upping their game with new features and capabilities.
So how does Root Mobile plan to stay ahead of the curve and maintain its edge in such a dynamic landscape?
That's what we'll dive into next. Their investor presentation outlines a multi-pronged strategy that involves strategic partnerships, aggressive expansion into new markets, and a laser focus on innovation. Stay tuned because things are about to get really interesting.
You know, it's one thing to talk about global reach and cutting-edge technology, but I'm always interested in the who behind the what. What did the investor presentation reveal about the kinds of businesses that are actually using Root Mobile services?
That's where it gets really interesting. The investor presentation actually dives into their client base quite extensively, and it paints a fascinating picture of their strategy. They're not just going after the biggest fish in the sea. They've cultivated an incredibly diverse portfolio of clients.
Okay, so it's not just about landing a few massive contracts and calling it a day. What does this client diversity look like in action?
They've got a healthy mix of small, medium, and large businesses from a wide range of industries. Remember how we talked about those digital native companies, the ones that live and breathe mobile technology? Well, they make up a significant portion of Root Mobile's revenue.
So they're tapping into the growth engine of the digital economy. Smart move.
Exactly. But it's not just about riding the wave of digital transformation. It's about strategic diversification.
Yeah.
They're not overly reliant on any one industry or client segment, which makes their business model incredibly resilient.
Ah, so even if one industry experiences a downturn, they're well positioned to weather the storm.
Precisely. And this ties back to something we discussed earlier, their impressive 105% net revenue retention rate. The fact that they're generating more revenue from existing clients while simultaneously diversifying their client base speaks volumes about the stickiness of their services and their ability to build strong, lasting relationships.
Okay, I'm hearing you a diverse client base equals a more stable and resilient business. But let's shift gears a bit and talk about the future. What's next for Root Mobile? Any hints about their grand plans?
Well, while they didn't reveal all their secrets, the investor presentation did offer some tantalizing glimpses into their strategic roadmap. One area they're clearly excited about is the continued integration of artificial intelligence and machine learning into their platform.
We talked about their AI-powered chatbots earlier, but it sounds like they're just scratching the surface of what's possible with AI.
Absolutely. They see AI as a key driver of future growth and innovation. They're not just using it to automate tasks. They're exploring how AI can enhance their services, personalize communication experiences, and even predict future trends in mobile engagement.
It's like they're building a crystal ball for the future of mobile communication.
In a way, yes.
Hmm.
They're leveraging their massive data sets and AI capabilities to gain a deeper understanding of how people are using mobile technology and what they'll want next.
And speaking of what's next, the investor presentation also mentioned exploring new technologies like blockchain and edge computing. I have a feeling you're about to blow my mind again.
Get ready, because these technologies have the potential to revolutionize the CPS landscape. Blockchain, for example, could be used to create a more secure and transparent system for mobile transactions, while edge computing could enable even faster and more responsive communication by processing data closer to the end user.
It's like they're constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible. But with all this talk of global expansion and cutting-edge technology, It's easy to forget about the human element. What are they doing to attract and retain top talent in such a competitive industry?
That's a crucial question, and it's one that they address directly in the presentation. They seem to be taking a holistic approach to talent development, focusing on creating an environment where people feel valued, supported, and empowered to do their best work.
Okay, that sounds great on paper, but what does it actually look like in practice?
They're investing heavily in employee training and development programs to ensure their workforce has the skills and knowledge to stay ahead of the curve in this rapidly evolving industry. They're also committed to creating a culture that celebrates innovation, collaboration, and continuous learning.
It's inspiring to see a company so committed to fostering a growth mindset within its workforce, but in an industry often plagued by burnout. I'm curious about their approach to work-life balance.
That's a critical point. And it's clear from the investor presentation that Root Mobile understands the importance of creating a sustainable and supportive work environment.
Okay.
They highlight their commitment to flexible work arrangements, generous benefits packages, and a culture that prioritizes employee well-being.
Right.
They even provide a detailed breakdown of their global workforce, emphasizing the diverse range of opportunities available within the company.
It's refreshing to see a company that's not just paying lip service to these issues, but actively weaving them into its strategy. But you know me, I always have to ask about the bigger picture.
Sure.
We're living in an age where companies are increasingly being held accountable for their impact on the world.
Right.
What does the investor presentation tell us about Root Mobile's commitment to environmental, social, and governance ESG factors?
That's a question more and more investors are asking, and it's clear from the presentation that Root Mobile is taking ESG seriously.
Yeah.
They're not just ticking boxes. They've integrated sustainability into their core values and operations.
Okay, so no greenwashing here. Give me the specifics. What kind of concrete actions are they taking?
They're tackling environmental sustainability on multiple fronts.
Okay.
They're committed to minimizing waste, conserving energy, and promoting sustainable practices throughout their supply chain. But it goes beyond just reducing their environmental footprint.
Right.
They're equally committed to making a positive social impact.
I'm all ears. Tell me more about their social impact initiatives.
They're actively involved in bridging the digital divide, promoting digital literacy, and supporting underserved communities.
Wow.
They understand that technology has the power to transform lives, and they're committed to ensuring that everyone has the opportunity to benefit from it.
It's inspiring to see a company using its success to lift others up. But ESG also encompasses corporate governance, right?
Yeah.
What does the presentation say about their commitment to ethical and responsible business practices?
They're very transparent about their corporate governance practices. They adhere to the highest ethical standards, promote diversity and inclusion at all levels of the organization, and regularly engage with stakeholders to ensure they're meeting their expectations.
Right.
In fact, their commitment to ESG has earned them an A rating from a reputable ESG rating agency, a strong indicator that they're walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
That's impressive. So they've got the global reach, the cutting edge technology, the impressive financials, the commitment to talent development, and a solid ESG strategy. Is there anything Root Mobile isn't doing right?
Well, they're not resting on their laurels, that's for sure. The investor presentation makes it clear that they're constantly looking for ways to innovate, expand, and create even more value for their clients.
Right.
They're playing the long game, and that's evident in everything they do.
You know, as we've been unpacking this investor presentation, it struck me just how much data must be flowing through Root Mobile's systems. Billions of transactions, countless interactions, a goldmine of insights. What are they doing with all that data?
That's a brilliant observation. And it's something the investor presentation only hints at.
Okay.
While they understandably focus on financials and strategy, imagine the knowledge they're gathering about consumer behavior, market trends, and emerging patterns in mobile engagement.
It's like having a real-time pulse on the digital world.
Exactly.
Right.
They could leverage this data to help businesses optimize their marketing campaigns, personalize customer experiences, and even predict future trends with remarkable accuracy.
Yeah.
The possibilities are incredibly exciting.
It's mind-boggling to think about the untapped potential of all that data.
Right.
It makes you realize that we've only just begun to scratch the surface of what's possible in the world of mobile communication.
Absolutely. And that's what makes it such a fascinating space to watch.
Yeah.
Root Mobile is at the forefront of a technological revolution, and it will be captivating to see how they continue to shape the future of how we connect, communicate, and interact with the world around us.
Well said. This deep dive into Root Mobile's world has been eye-opening, to say the least. From their global reach and innovative technology to their commitment to sustainability and data-driven insights, they're a company that's clearly doing things right and one we should all be keeping our eye on.
Couldn't agree more.
This is one of those deep dives that leaves me with more questions than answers, but in the best way possible. It's struck a whole new level of curiosity about the unseen forces shaping our digital lives.
That's the power of a good deep dive. It opens your mind to new possibilities and inspires you to keep exploring.
Well said. Until our next deep dive, keep those brains engaged and those curiosity levels high.